So get a repertoire of, of everything, watch yourself on the weekends, watch yourself at wherever you are, because everyone looks at you, especially those freshmen. That's one thing. If you're a freshman org or if you're in any organization, there's going to be people talking. And the fact is that you need to make a reputation of yourself. And that's a huge important aspect of you being a president or you being a VP, because people are going to look to you for leadership. And they're going to ask you questions. You're going to need to know your information. And once you don't, you're going to be like, oh, you know what? He or she's the VP or the president or the leader. You know what I mean? Just go up with your information, research your information, your org, and your students from where they come from. My students are Native American students, and I actually come from the reservation, so in a way I kind of knew a little bit about our res and about our children. Well, they're my children, but we're all related. Well, anyways, well, that's how I think. We're all related, so. So just research about where your students come from, probably get the concept of family. Set that straight off like that. You care about one another, respect one another, and once they find that, they're going to feel more comfortable. So that's what I have to say.
All right, it's my turn. First thing I want to say is kind of going off the family thing about assessing people. Find out strengths and weaknesses. If you have a secretary who's a treasurer and a treasurer who's a secretary, that doesn't make sense. So basically, find out who you're working with, because you don't want to have someone taking notes and they good with numbers and money and they can network and get in money to the organization. So sit down and talk to people. Whether if you're a group person, have a group team builder exercise where you find out where people are coming from, their majors, what they want to do, who's in their family, what other organizations are in, so that you can network and connect with people and build resources. Find out people's weaknesses and where they kind of lack. So then you can not only help build it up, but you can know where to put people. Because if you put someone in a position where they talk in front of people, they're not a public speaker yet. Don't put them in front of people. Maybe they're good on a one-on-one basis. Maybe they're good at planning, logistics, have them do that. And for the person who's public speaking, have that individual go and public speaking. But at the same time, try to help build up the individuals who may not have as many strengths as another individual. Second thing, business is business. And I know that doesn't mean you can't have fun, but it means that many of us on our boards, we may know people who are friends, or may become friends with somebody else. When you walk through the door in an XYZ meeting, you handle that business. You don't come in and you're like, oh, that girl, oh, that dude, hey, he's at the club, hey, he's at church, and she did a hair flip and smacked me and things. No, you do that afterwards. I'm being honest. Like, you do that afterwards, you do it before, and then you respect each other, because we're all men and women. You don't degrade someone, you don't say, oh, I'm the president, and you make someone feel bad, or someone else has a higher year or something, and you make someone else feel bad, like a freshman. No, you show respect and love and your family. You have to see it to show that, because if there's disunity, I guarantee you, the freshmen, whoever looks at your organization, they will spot it. And they're going to say, why should I join this organization? They don't respect each other. So how will they respect me outside? So that's another thing. I'm trying to think. It's hard to get advice. Ask questions. Ask questions. Ask questions. Ask questions. If you're not sure, ask questions. Find somebody you respect and confident in. You ask them questions. If you can't ask questions, ask somebody else to ask the question. But the point is, get the question asked and then get the answer. A big thing is, depending on your events, I don't know what people's events are, open your events up to the community. Why? Because when you bring in people in the community, there's going to be somebody at some point they're going to say, I like what you're doing, I understand your purpose, your values, I understand your goals, let me help you. So then not only do you have resources from ASU, your friends, advisor, now you have somebody from the community who can help you out. And maybe even advertise for you on another level that you were never able to reach before. The last thing that's on my mind, I do apologize for rushing, is collaboration. It makes no sense for so many organizations who have different names, the same values, the same goals, or a similar platform. So when you meet someone else today, or you meet someone down the line, you find out they're president of XYZ organization, you're talking about what y'all do and what y'all plan, and you say to yourself, well, in the month of March, we're doing financial forum, they're doing financial forum, collaborate. If you find out someone's doing a self-defense class for women, another organization doing a self-defense class for women, collaborate. Even if it's two different cultures, two different genders, whatever, the point is to collaborate, because number one, now you have a venue to reach other students. Number two, now you're networking and getting more resources. And number three, it just makes sense. Because again, as an outsider looking in, if you're a freshman or you're a new person to the campus, you're looking, you say, well, XYZ organization has an event Wednesday I want to go to. XYZ organization has an event on Wednesday too. An hour later, which one do I go to? Or you show up to one event late, and then you go to another one a little bit early, something like that. So it just doesn't make sense. And it's stressful on the freshmen, it's stressful on everybody. And it just makes us look like fools, in all honesty. Because how are we going to talk about we can plan things and do logistics, and we have similar values and similar principles, and we can't come together. And then we all in a coalition when we're supposed to work together. So that's all I'm going to say for right now. Any questions, let me know.
Hi, my name is Amanda, and so just going off of, they covered a lot of really good topics for everything that you need to consider as a facilitator. But I'd say just as Lasana kind of described as the leader or facilitator or president, anything that you're going to be in a leadership position is that you do carry the mission and the vision of your organization. So you have to kind of be conscious of that all the time. And as Demetria said, you have to be, kind of hold yourself to a higher standard because other people are also dependent upon you, but also watching you to see what you're doing because they're looking for some kind of a model. You are a role model, and people are looking up to you. So you have to take those kind of things into account all the time. And, all of your skills, everything that you've accumulated since you've been, at school, since you've been a leader, are going to be challenged. Things like your mediation skills, your organization, your time management, all of those types of things are going to come into play, and you need to try and exhibit those to the best of your ability so that you can be helping your students in your organization, but also carrying out your duties and making sure that things are getting done. You got to be on top of things ahead of everybody else because you know what's going on, what's going to be planned, what's coming up next, and you kind of have to help guide everybody to stay together and work together to get those things done. So all of those things are going to come into play and be challenged. Also, I'd say it's important too that as a leader, you tend to kind of want to take on more responsibilities because you feel like it's your duty, that you should be doing more than everybody else, or you should be helping out everybody. But the truth is, you have to know your limits. Be sure that you know when you're taking on too much responsibility and when to ask some help. Because when it comes down to it, I think you can handle like 3 events all at once, and then they're all going to come up right one after another, and then you didn't have enough people to help you, and things don't get done. So be sure that you know your own limits, and even though you are the leader of the organization and a lot of the responsibility does lay on your shoulders, you are not the only one in that organization. And it's, I think, important to think of it not as this is my organization, this is my duty, I'm the president, this is my council. It's everybody's organization, and they all have an important part to play in supporting you and each other to get things done in your mission as an organization.
I just want to say this as well. It's good to know your limitations, but then again, make sure you have reliable people who have the same goals as you in the org, because you're going to get to a point as a president or as a leader or a VP where you're just going to need help. And the fact is that you're going to need reliable people to help you, because altogether to make it work successful is not only you, but you need people who have the same views upon things. Because if you don't have the same people who have the same views, it's like, you get discouraged and you get like so stressed out. But that's what Lasana was talking about. Learn how to delegate responsibility within your orgs and within your e-boards. And it's just a huge important thing, especially for you and the org. So just get reliable people to help you out.
I think another important component to that though too is your students from interacting with them, you have different events with each of them, so kind of learn, get to know all of your members, get to know people that can help you or notice their strengths. As you said before, and try to help them cultivate those skills so that they can become better leaders themselves if that's where they want to be and help you out and in a leadership role they can do that too. So always encouraging your members to learn different skills, to maybe try something new and help them develop